Welcome to Dharma Vibe. Today we are engaging in a very interesting conversation with Giuliano Morais. Giuliano is a Brazilian who is a very strong advocate of Sanatan Dharma. I came across him on the Twitter platform. I was I took time to read through his tweets, and I realized that this guy has an amazing knowledge about Sanatan Dharma, and some of his takes, his philosophical takes, are very out of the box. I spoke to him and then invited him to have a particular discussion on specific to Ganesha as a topic. Ganesha is a deity that is recognized by, I think, almost all population across the world, and there are people who are not of our dharma, of Sanatan Dharma, yet practicing Ganesha worship. So, what is this about the deity that binds the entire world together across jatis, across colors, across races? So this is something that I wanted to understand from a Western perspective, and therefore I had a in-depth conversation with Giuliano. And Giuliano has been a Shakti Upasak, a Shri Vidya Upasak for some time now. He was associated also with the Infinity Foundation, and that's when he came across Narsimhaji, and then Narsimhaji's manuals, and then he started doing Ganesh Homa from the past 2 years. So I wanted to, kind of talk to him about his Homa practice as well, and his take on Ganesha. So this is a freewheeling conversation about the world's favorite deity, and I hope you can enjoy this. I enjoyed thoroughly, and I'm going to have a series of such discussions with people from the West or people from not of Sanatan Jati, and understand from them, because they are practitioners of Sanatan Dharma, what kind of attracted them to Sanatan Dharma, and what the practice means to them is something that I'm going to do as a series, and this is the first episode on that. I hope you enjoy it. Om Namah Shivaya. Hello, my friend. Thank you for joining me on Dharma Vibe. And this conversation,
Thanks for
I'm
having
sure,
me.
is going to be
Yeah.
very interesting. How are you?
Yeah. I'm great. I just had some dengue here, which
Yeah.
is got me a little bit down, but now I'm almost perfect.
Do you have fever
Confident.
right now?
No, right now I'm okay. Just very weak. Sometimes the mind doesn't connect the thoughts very well, but I'm okay.
All right. Okay.
I'm good.
Giuliano, we got to know each other from Twitter, and from being
Yeah.
Twitter friends, now we are friends. Uh, I've been seeing your tweets. I saw a lot that you are, doing for Sanatan Dharma. I
Okay.
and your own personal journey has been very enriching. Though we will not touch that subject today, but I want to know about you a little more in terms of you have been posting your pictures about doing your daily homa, especially Ganapati
Yeah.
homa. How did you get into doing homa? How did you take that as your, I would not say vocation, but pursuing Homa. Let's just put it that way. How did you start
Okay.
pursuing Homa?
Okay. Yeah. Thanks for having me. First of all, my pleasure. You see, Homa came to me in a very unexpected way. You see, I was making some. I was working for Infinity Foundation. Working with their videos, and then there was this interview with
That's Rajiv
Narasimha Rao.
Malhotra's
Yes,
Infinity Foundation. Okay.
yes, Infinity. Yes, I was working with him for like 5 years, and
Mm-hmm.
Narasimha Rao ji happened to be there giving an interview, and I was interested in doing some research, and I ended up finding about the whole thing about Homa on Twitter also.
Mm-hmm.
And for some time, I was hesitant to take it up. I was having some practice before, a few practices, because I do the Manitya Anusthana, which is associated to the Shri Vidya tradition, which is just mantric, japa and parayanam, chanting mostly, and also some meditation that I got from Siddha Master. And I was doing this, and I said, why not? You see, I was interested in it, and because I used to think it was very difficult and reserved. You see, even though I had some mentors who were into it, doing fire, and I was sometimes I followed fire like the whole night. I was doing sadhana around fire a few times, and I say, no, this is not for me. I didn't even think about it. And this came as because I say, I'm not born into to Dharma. You see, I practice the sadhana, but I'm culturally Christian. You see,
Correct.
this I have this. Uh, and I said, why not? And I started entertaining it, making some research, reading the manuals. And I said, well, I actually can do it. And this came naturally to me. I did it. I enjoyed it. At first I was doing like once a week only, and I'm still not a hardcore practitioner like you guys are. I do it 3 times a week, and I post it online, not out of exhibitionist kind of feeling, but I think I should share it for people. Even in Brazil, people have no idea what it's all about, and I think those energies should be there also. This is my feeling. Sometimes I don't like to share it also. I said, no, today I'm not comfortable sharing it. But normally I like to share it because so people understand that someone is doing it. Because when I got to do it, these manuals were already translated into Portuguese, and I know a few people in Brazil, maybe good, more than a few people are practicing this
All
kind of
right.
Homa, and they translated it. I don't know who translated it, but some people are interested in it, and it should be there also because everything is out there on the internet. Why not? We should, and this is part of my understanding also, that we should talk about religion,
Mm-hmm.
because I was very hesitant to even talk about spirituality and religion first, because I'm not an authority. I don't have any kind of formal qualification to teach anything or to talk about it
Mm-hmm.
or to share my personal insights. But we are living in very different times. This is what I feel like. And if we don't talk, nobody's talking about it. And I used to have a lot of thoughts about myself, like I'm not qualified, I cannot talk about this. But actually, I see people talking, teaching wrong things online many times. And I
Mm-hmm.
say, maybe I should teach some good things that should represent some possibilities out there also, even though I am not a very qualified person. So this is my feeling about it. This is why I do it generally.
But you're doing
Yeah,
good. In fact, the energy of the Homa pictures that you put across is so palpable that, and as such, also fire attracts. So I guess there are many Indians here who are following you and
yeah, yeah,
yeah,
yeah.
and taking inspiration from you, and that's a very good thing. Do you do Ganapati Homas basically?
Yeah, Ganapati. I started doing some other homas, trying a few mantras because I was initiated into the normal Shri Vidya mantras, and I was using some of those and my first homas were just like making some research, so to speak. I was feeling the energies, and then I said, "No, this Ganapati came to me. He has been there for the beginning, but I was not paying attention to him, but he was there from the beginning. And at some point in my spirituality, I was handling some energies, and back to Brazil, living in Brazil, it's very difficult to handle the energies here. Like people who know a little bit of energies, that it's very hard sometimes, the ups and downs. And I was having this. Sometimes if you go very high and you hit rock bottom, and I
Mhm.
get depressive, and I can take control of my moods, and you become kind of an eccentric spiritualist, and it happens to
Mhm.
many people. I even met some very advanced people that they face the same problem. They cannot handle the energies, and they don't. Their life become a mess, and it's very difficult. And I had this moment when Ganapati appeared in many different signs all at the same time. See, I would go out to buy some bread in the bakery, and I would see people tattooed with Ganapati and T-shirts of Ganapati. And I would go to a meeting with some friends, and some guy came and with Ganapati T-shirt, and many people saw this. It doesn't look like it's like and
It's so strange,
actually,
but in a different country altogether, and you're seeing so many signals and
yeah,
symbols coming to you.
yeah. Yeah, and I will talk a little bit about Ganapati in the West also, but you see, it was, and also people came, people I respect, they said, "No, you should do Ganapati sadhana." At the same time, I was receiving those signs. And I say, why not? I keep my Nitya Anusthana because I'm properly, I like Tripura Sundari. This is my main Ishta devotion, you see. And Saundarya Lahari, Lalita Sahasranama, I had been doing this, and I
Mm.
still do it sometimes, but
Mm.
not so intensely anymore. I decided to dedicate my spirituality for as long as it takes to Ganapati. I had this decision coming for some time,
Mm.
and I decided to do Ganapati Homa, and it really worked for me. You see, I started controlling myself better, taking care of my personal stuff, because this is you see, spirituality in this moment in my life, I think it should be handled in a very rational way.
Correct.
Not very
Mm.
to find integrity, personal integrity, and to find your. This is what I look for, and psychological health also. If you are a madman, if you are all over the place, if you don't know how to handle your own energies, what is the use of it? So this is my perspective now. You see, because we need
So, do you feel
to.
that Ganapati energy is a lot more stabilizing energy,
Yeah,
or
totally.
yeah, because as such, even in our shastras, it is mentioned that Ganapati should be the first one to be worshipped.
Yeah,
For every beginner in their journey of spirituality, Ganapati comes first. Whether it is a puja, whether it is a homa, whether it is any mantra anushtanas, any scriptural readings, or anything of that sort, Ganapati comes first. So, what is your reflection on this? Is it because Ganapati kind of stabilizes you, gets your energies in place as such, since you're talking about energies, uh, gives you a perspective, removes challenges is one part of it. I don't know how many of us are that insightful to understand that he is actually removing obstacles. But
yeah.
as a lay person, what are those attributes or qualities that for a sadhak that you feel attractive towards Ganesha?
Yeah. You see, there are some very intriguing features in Ganapati, which I discovered in time because I'm a very philosophical guy. I'm not a very, let's be honest, I'm not a very advanced spiritualist or something like this. I do my thing, but I'm very philosophical and can come across as very advanced because you can put it in words, and some people say, oh, maybe he knows a lot. No, I'm just a normal person. And the Ganapati for me, I was intrigued by the word Vegna first. What is the obstacle? Because many people may understand Ganesha as a very specialized kind of deity. Oh, he's there to remove the obstacles. But actually, even in the Lalita Sahasranama, they talk about Ganapati breaking the Vegna Yantra, which is the device of obstacles. So what is this device that they are talking about? And this is very important. Metaphysically, it's not to understand because the Vegna is time.
Mm-hmm.
What is time? Time is like everything in this reality is connected in some sort of jati. Jati is like a hierarchical structure. Like a
Mm-hmm.
company, you have this top-down chain of command, and if you have to interact with the company, you have to follow that structure. You see,
Correct.
and this takes time. So anywhere you go in this life, you will have to handle structures, and the structures give you more time. You
Mm.
see, so when you switches from the perspective jatis to the perspective Ghana. What is a Ghana? Ghana is many individuals. You handle individuals directly, independently of which kind of jati or structure they come from. So when we see in these paintings of Shiva, many different individuals from many different yonis, many different ganas, many different jatis, and they are together because the whole structure of this world, which is the law of Prajapati, you see,
Correct.
it's inherits the jati, their own jati. Like the dogs, they have the jati. The cats, they have the little jati. Every structure have their own system working. It's a closed system, you see.
Hmm.
But
Hmm.
Ganapati, the Ganas, is like everything is related as itself. So Ganapati is able to destroy the time that has been created in the connection of the many different structures of reality. You see, this is my philosophical approach of it. And actually, when he destroys the many structures, and he can also create those structures, like the Vignas could be become very complex. You start. I was remembering the other day the Donald Duck. I don't know if you watched this in India. It's this
Yeah.
cartoon, and this guy's
Yeah.
trying to assemble this chair, and everything goes wrong, and he gets very angry, and
Hmm.
he cannot handle it. So this is pretty much what Ganapati does. You see, it's also funny in a way because in Hindu aesthetics, Ganapati is related to comics also. So it can be very funny. Like people cannot do it
Mm-hmm.
if you obstacles appear. So the Vigna Yantra is the very structure of reality that we are in. You see, we every time we decide to pursue has a long journey, has a lot of obstacles, a lot of structures which you have to understand before finding the objectives. And in Lalita Sahasranama, it said that Ganapati destroys the Vigna Yantra, and this creates the bliss for Lalita. You know, when there are no obstacles, the beginning is the end. And then you will see Ganapati in the beginning and the end of many structures, like he's representing, according to the Atharva Shirsha, he's always sitting on Muladhara Chakra, which is the beginning. But also some people say he's Bodhi, which is the end of the
End of
Prakriti.
the yeah.
So also some people in a different tantric understanding, they say, oh, this is Sadashiva. See the very lofty connection between me and I, aham, and idam, me and this. So he's always there at the door of connection, you see. And this is very similar to the structure we find in the African Brazilian religions also, but I will talk about it later if you feel like you
So
can.
would you call him some like the guardian of the realm or something like that? Would that also be
Yeah,
a would that also be an attribute that can be given to him?
yeah, I totally. Because, you know, in Dharma, the deities, they have many levels also. They manifest, you know, that they manifest even when I was, you see, there are some tribes in the Northeast that I had the opportunity to interact with a little bit. And they have this, maybe I mispronounced the name, I'm sorry, if but they have this deity called Baba Garia or something. It's the Jamati Hodia tribe. I don't know them deeply. I just have some information. Whatever. They have this deity, which is in their village level. It's Baba Garia, and then they connect with the highest levels of memory
Okay.
until they get until it's Vishnu.
Oh,
So it goes
fantastic.
all the way up, and this is pretty common for many tribes how they do connect to the Vedic system,
Mm-hmm.
and they find a way to different dimensions this deity manifests. So this is the same for Ganesha. You see, in Brazil we have some indigenous religions and also African
Mm.
Brazilian religions, and we
Mm.
have a deity called Eshu. Eshu is like he's always at the door also, and
How would you spell his name?
it's kind of E
Mm-hmm.
S like
Mm.
an U, but a shoe, like
Okay.
shoe
Yes.
Shiva, like
Okay.
a shoe, a shoe, there are many variations for that. But a
Mm-hmm.
shoe is always at the door,
Mm.
and it's an articulation between the world out there, the profane,
Mm.
and the sacred. You see, I understand that Ganesha is the same messenger between the because he connects with the profane easily. You
Mm.
see, in Brazil, Ganesha is very famous. People don't know about this, but they don't even know what it's all about. The whole thing about tantras and things, but they just love the murti. They get it. Many people they get it. They pray for material stuff, and some people that I know they develop some emotional connection with Ganesha. They don't know nothing about it, and this is the magic of it. People tattoo Ganeshas. They have T-shirts of Ganeshas, and there are some very similar. Images, some murtis also in the Andes, like Bolivia. I was talking to a friend. You have this chubby, smiling guy, which is pretty much Ganesh, and it's the same thing. I feel this is my feeling, of course. I'm not an anthropologist, but yeah, they worship very similar stuff. And Eshu also, it's like when he's invoked, he has this intermediate kind of characteristic also. And
Mm-hmm.
I think it's very connected. I was talking to some people. I had the opportunity also to talk to some priests of indigenous Brazilian religion,
Mm.
and they say no, it's pretty much yes, it's similar. And also you have the trident. Exu has the trident, and you see, but Exu is very demonized in Brazil also because
Okay.
Catholics don't like it. It's this is the demon itself, himself, the guy. So it's a
But
you
that's
see,
what
but
colonization has done, actually. They have taken,
yeah.
the indigenous motifs and symbols and, the gods of the indigenous tribes, and they have demonized them. You, someone who is not born in Sanatan Dharma, but, how did you resonate as soon as you chanced upon Ganesha in a way? You had some background as far as Hindu spiritual practices are concerned, but as somebody who is absolutely different person than, you're not coded genetically, say for example, uh, how did you resonate? How has been your experience with Ganesha?
Okay. You see, when I was about 7 years old, and this is a story I never told publicly. You see,
Okay, so this is
I
breaking
had
for us here in
okay.
Dharma Bhai.
No, yeah. You see, it happened. I had this headache, and Catholicism in Brazil is not what people. It's not a Christian country per se. It's because Christianity was never really enforced completely because there are many indigenous folk religions
Hmm,
here, and I was brought up in the middle of this. My mother is indigenous
hmm,
and indigenous blood and whatnot. And she was linked to some stories, some spirits, nature, and all. And she would take me for healing also to these shamans. And there was this old lady, and she told my mother, "Look, this guy, she will connect at some point with some other land." Religions from other places. And I was not knowing this. And when I, as an adult, I had this conversation with my mother and say, look, this is not, I'm adopting this kind of practice. And I had to explain and to make it understandable to her because she's a Catholic. And she had no problem. She said, no, this is just, I was knowing that you would do this, you would practice this. And I understand it's all godly. She
hmm.
didn't have a problem. She blessed me. And I said, no, it's okay. I was not violating my own land, my own inheritance. I say, there is some connection there. So my connection with Ganesha uh, goes back to those times, you see, because I was drawing little Ganeshas and doing things like this,
Really?
but it was unconscious. I was not knowing just little elephants and things like this. My first spiritual connection with Ganesha happened in a mandir in India. I was doing a pilgrimage for many different mandirs as a sadhana, 64 mandirs, I don't remember. And I would go to Ganesha temples also, and I had this experience. I'm a very skeptical guy, even though I'm spiritual. I don't believe in spirituality with my rational mind. I question everything. And it's a problem. It's a hell. My mind is a hell because all the time trying to see. I was like, this is psychological. I'm all the time like this. So I'm pretty crazy. And you see, I was in this mandir. And then I was praying there, doing the whole thing. I didn't even know how to behave properly in temples, Hindu temples. Now I know a little bit more. And then I had this dizziness. I felt kind of dizzy. And when I closed my eyes, I felt this atmosphere of energy around surrounded it, like I was seeing it like a plastic luminous something, you know,
Mm-hmm.
and it was there. And then I felt, oh my God, this is my this was my idea. I was like, oh, maybe I have brain cancer or something. And I said, maybe I should go to a doctor. And this kept going on. And I would close my eyes and it was back. And I would open my eyes. And I was feeling the energy in the temple, really. After I left, the few Maldives I visited, I kept feeling these energies. And I was very concerned about my health because I was
And
not
these were
feeling
all
good.
Ganesha temples, primarily?
No. But
Okay.
it happened first thing. Then there was Navagraha temple I visited the same day, and I felt different energies,
Okay.
different energies.
Mm.
And I say, so this is a kind of something is going on, something's going on, and it's different. And how can I explain this to myself? And no, it took me some time, and it remained. And I say, well, this is what people talk about when they mention energies. Okay, but I didn't have the visual experience anymore, but I felt different energies in different places
Mm-hmm.
from that point on, in different, in a very subtle way. It became subtler. It's not like the first experience, but this happened in Ganesha. And also, many times spontaneously, I would connect to Ganesha in the right uh, days. I was not following the calendar or anything. But when the day came, I said, "Oh, I had to do something about it." I didn't know about the what to do exactly, but I would do some little thing just for to remember him. When I finally got to Ganesha Homa, I felt at home. You see, I say this is the real thing. This is helping me finally because my spiritual life was a mess. Like I needed to put it all together and to make sense of it at some
Mm.
point. So, and there was also this pride. You see, you have, oh, I'm working with the Shaktis. And you get it involved in this. It's like if it's not good for you, what are you doing? See, so this is my personal realization. I don't know if it works for other people or you see, but for me, Ganesha, and I don't know how long will I keep worshiping Ganesha, but this is very good for me at this point, and it really works as to ground you and to make you functional in your life if you need that, because we are not sannyasis, we are handling problems, normal problems.
Normal
So this is
problems.
my
And
this is my
in an
connection with Ganesha.
abnormal life that we all
Yeah,
have. Okay, so
yeah,
as a practitioner myself, I always say that you may want to go and traverse other domains, okay, but come back to your Ganesha or come back to your roots, okay, come back to your beginnings whenever possible, and then again you do, and again come back, come back, come back. It's basically kind of uh, have better expertise, come back to it and have better expertise in it, uh, have your grounding. So being a shakta yourself, okay, how uh, what is the connection of how Ganesha, because even in Sri Vidya you you start with Ganesha. Okay,
yes,
so
yeah,
so in the Shakta tradition, especially, and this is for all the audiences who are nowadays, there is a lot which is happening as far as the thrill and the all the thrill and the interest levels in Shakta has increased because of all the YouTubers, etc. But coming back to it, is that how Ganesha plays a very significant role across all traditions I've seen. It's not just the Shakta, but it is also with the
yeah.
Shaivite tradition, with the Vaishnavite tradition, all of that. So, how is this deity who has spanned, or rather spanned across all of these traditions in such a significant manner?
Yeah. You see,
And
Ganesha, I
you can
think,
speak about Shakta yourself,
yes,
to
yes.
just elaborate a point.
The Shakti tradition for me is like the Shakti is everything, like the energies.
Right.
It's like the electricity, and it's everywhere. It doesn't give you it doesn't fecundate you. I don't know if there is such a word in English. My English, sorry for my English, not so good. It doesn't give you the seed for being a human being proper. It gives you power. It's a connection with power. This is my understanding. If you connect with those energies, they will show you the power. But you need some skaras, you need some understanding as a spiritual person, and this was given culturally in India, and it's given at some level still, because people they receive those mysteries and those kind of energies after some time. You see, in my lineage, I heard some people they took 5 years serving the guru before getting one mantra, and this is not happening now because traditions are changing. The gurus, the masters, they are feeling something different because traditions are dying in a way. See,
Mm.
this is a real thing. If that should be some adaptation at some point, and this is a tension. There is no easy answer to that. I see many gurus they are striving to understand what's going on, and they want to benefit people, and they don't want to harm people. You see, so the connection with the power, the spiritual power, it's what in the West it was called alchemic journey, or the even the magic, like you see, and even black magic, as people say. You see that because there's no such thing as black. There's only power. If you don't have the samskara of being a cultural samskara, some people they could have access to those sort of powers and they could harm other people. That's why there's so much protection, even though some people don't believe it. Like say, no, this is bullshit. It doesn't. Because I used to think like this. Well, why don't they kill the president? Like, just like this, if they have such power, why? Uh, Actually, after some time, I was meditating with this question in my heart, and they said, no, of course, the president is in a very central karmic position. So lots of energies are already there in the destiny of many people. So it's not easy to just you do something and change the destiny of a country. Like it's not like this. It really works, but there are many protocols there. The point is, Ganesha, for me, it ties the Shakti like the baby ties the mother, not by strength, not by power, but by love, in a way. This is my understanding of it. Like, how can you bind the power, you see? And Ganesha binds it like the prana. If you read about the prana in the Upanishads, they say there are a few verses like I don't beg. I don't beg. And they repeat it in the Prashna Upanishad, I don't beg. And I
Mm.
was like, what is this I don't beg?
Mm.
Because prana, even though it's in an inferior position, it doesn't beg the senses, the mind, and the body. If prana withdraws, everything stops. You see,
Correct.
so sometimes the lower binds the higher in a very safe way. So I think Ganesha is a very, and I have the impression maybe Varahima, but this is another idea I have. But Ganesha is very important because he connects with everyone. Bhaskara Raya, which is a great Shakta master, he composed a commentary which is available in English about the 1,000 names of Ganesha. And he says everyone can connect to Ganesha, and he is the one who connects with those people who are not qualified for any kind of sadhana. So this is our way age. Like most of us, we cannot connect to higher dimensions and things like this. But Ganesha is very compassionate, and also there is a happening associated with Ganesha which Hindus don't give it proper value, maybe, which is the milk miracle. When I was in India, I was talking to many people who
Were you there in
were
India at that time?
no, I was not. I was not, but many people told me about it, like trustworthy people, that it happened at the same time in many different mandirs.
Yes.
You see, some religions, they claim there are no miracles in other religions. Like the Christians, they say, no, there's no real miracles but was huge. You
This was
see,
huge. It took the
this is
entire
huge.
country by storm.
Yeah, and people forget about this because this is amazing. This is, they cannot explain it away. Like it's there. So Ganesha connects with everyone. It connects with people in the West very easily. People love Ganesha. Like here, they don't. think it's the demon or anything. They love it. It's cute. They worship. They get. So this is the importance of Ganesha. You see, at this point in the world, and it becomes so important that it's even interesting how it is a hidden secret. Like it's open, but it's hidden at the same time, because most people still consider Ganesha as a very minor deity. And some people come up with this historical stuff. Oh, Ganesha appears because they. This is just about books. You see, people
So
read books and they.
I'll just stop
Yeah,
you
tell
there.
me.
Uh, I had read somewhere, and there was a debate which was going on social media that Ganesha is a minor deity, okay,
Okay.
as opposed to you know, by far that I have seen, he's one to be uh, appeased at the initial level, at the beginning itself. So this is a dichotomy, where on one hand you call it as a minor deity, and on the other hand he is somebody whom you have to go through him to any schools of thought.
Yeah, and the funny thing is people don't notice this contradiction. They say they work both ways and that they something that doesn't connect. Which is the primary thing, the primary energy is there, and even the Vaishnavas, all the Vaishnavas, I guess in the south they have another entity that in the place of Ganesha, but it's the same energy there. See, but mostly most Vaishnavas they do worship Ganesha because of the Mahabharata, which is see
Which is
also.
written by
So
him.
yeah, and yeah, and you see there is no way around it. You see, Ganesha is connecting. He is the Sanatana Dharma in a way for me.
I loved the way you
Because,
said that he is the
yeah,
Sanatana Dharma. Yeah.
he's the Sanatana Dharma. He's the introduction. You see, and if you don't have those sanskaras, how do I connect with Sanatana Dharma? You see, people are very curious about it. Like some people gave me bad words sometimes until, oh, you Gora. Not so much Gora going on, but but you see, but they was like, oh, you cannot don't mess with our traditions, and those very traditional guys, 18 years old in his room, you don't mess with our tradition, and and he's like, you see, how do I connect? Because it's not really Indian, you guys are responsible to carry the trunk, the roots, of course, that comes from other ages, much before, in another age of humanity. So you are interested, say, to this kind of thing. But universal principles are there to enkindle human spirituality, and I do believe Ganesha has a role in humanity, and in the next stage, the Western civilization is collapsing. The structures are collapsing. The civilizational options are collapsing, and we cannot, in my opinion, with all due respect to anyone, we cannot come back to Middle Age religions anymore. People have Google. If you come up with some lies, they will check, and so you just cannot make people believe in some things anymore. We are in the next decade. World will be very different, and we should think, we should not just love these Western guys are. I think we should, Westerners, they should be respectful. Don't give what is proper to the rishis, and also you have some different things going on there. So we don't have like a Kula Devata. We don't have our own proper village traditions in the West. But the principles, the metaphysical principles, they are true or not. Yeah, if you take the Upanishad, see, if they are true, they are for humanity in a way. Whatever way, it's a problem. But I forgot your first question, please.
No, no,
What were
it's
you?
okay. It's okay. You went in a flow. That's fine. It was more of the Shakta, but I will just bring you back to a little thing. You were just touching upon a subject where you said Ganesha and about Mother Varahi goddess. Uh, what is that you want to speak on that? And
See,
Ganesha.
yes. You see, I cannot justify this philosophically or even in the Shastra, but I was connected to Varahima before, and I think Varahima and Ganesha, they are very connected in a way with the mysteries of Bhumi, of land. You see, and material, they're very close to material sphere, and they can
The gross
help people
sphere, basically. Yes.
yeah, the gross sphere, gross energies, and this is what we need because I have seen, and I was connected to Varahi, but I couldn't not understand it properly. I was doing my sadhana, and so this is not clicking, this is not connected. This is some, and my life was getting a little bit disturbed by those kind of energies. But I found in Mahaganapati, which is the first Vidya, Ishvara Vidya, he has 10 arms. One of those is Bhumi Devi and also Varaha, see, which is connected to the earth element also, and which is connected to moksha, curiously. And then they say this is very curious little symbolic things because in Ganesha Vidya, the earth element is in Mahaganapati Vidya at least, is
Mm.
connected to moksha in his yantra. It's not
Okay.
like the ether element or the loftiest element, but so I found that this connection, and I'm still digesting over the years. A few years I have been thinking about it, but for some reason, I have this feeling that Varahima and Ganesha, they are very important for the future of mankind in the next years. You know, in one form or another. And I do believe that this, you know, but I couldn't really justify it or find a very philosophical reasoning for that yet.
Which are the forms of Ganesha that you have, kind of reflected upon, uh, uh, where you feel and you felt that you resonated with a certain form?
Okay, I have this connection with Valabesha, which is Mahaganapati, which I have been working on. This is basically, I also do some Kavacha from, this came naturally to me by my choice, nobody gave it to me, which is Haridra Ganesha, turmeric Ganesha. And I think turmeric is very cherished by Indians also, and it's sacred in a way,
Mm.
and it connects us with Ganesha also.
Mm.
I like to empower some turmeric and use it for my health
Mm.
here. This is maybe my superstition, people would
No
say,
problem.
but I I like to connect with turmeric, and I think and I like Haridra Ganesha as a protector of my tantra, my spirituality. So I connect with Haridra Ganesha as a kavacha for me also, for personal option. And I love many kinds of, I was trying many kinds of stotrams which could be tried for people like Heramba Ganesha. I love how Heramba Ganesha is connected with the downtrodden, like against the powerful in this world. You
Mm.
see, this is very important also because there's a lot of social injustice, people who are oppressed in a way. And Heramba Ganesha has this particular kind of power to protect those people who has no protection and against powerful and unjust people in this world. So Heramba Ganesh is another stotram I like to do. I like also which else Mayuresha. Mayuresha is a form. Someone gave it to me, saying, "No, this is about mental health, like people who are suffering for anxiety or from anxiety or depression. If they just keep doing this stotra mayuresha ganesha, I never checked it anywhere, and I just do it also. And mayuresha stotra is very important for me. And there are many other. I never tried those really because I've never been into left hand tantra. You see, I had some mentors who were there, and I have seen many people, also some people fall in left hand tantra. You see, in the I'm just the guy who chants stuff. I I never went that far, and you see, because you see, it doesn't even make sense. Some of those things, like in the West, people do a lot of things. You know, it's not like people drink alcohol. Like it's not. I don't drink it, of course, but people they could fall for it because if they're drinking, they're enjoying it. It's not a big
Correct.
deal.
Correct. Correct.
Yeah, all things that they do in left hand tantra, it was for Vedic because of the shock, because of the transgression. You see,
Mm.
and
Mm.
in my understanding, that kind of transgression creates a cognitive dissonance, and this could open up. This is my understanding of it. But you see, I don't unless Ma gives me this kind of structured from inside. I will connect in the future, but I have not been into that kind of practice.
Do you want to
So
do you want to talk about a particular stotra which, for the benefit of the uh for the audience, is something which is very simple, uh where you chant about it and also give us the meaning on it. Do you
okay,
want to either a
let
Heram
me
or
see
a
because you
Mayure?
see, yeah, yes, I can chant it if you give me a couple because I see my memory is not so good. I don't memorize
That's okay.
anything.
That's okay. No problem.
I just read. I just read. You see, so I have
Something
to if you
which you really like, something which
okay.
resonated with you of late.
I think I like to chant the Mayoresh's Stotram. Sometimes I do it, and also the Atharva Shirsham. The Atharva Shirsham, it's very peaceful, even if you only listen to it online. And I have found it very effective also if you are sad, if you have a lot of sorrow. And also I do it, sometimes I did it on Homa, but now I
Mhm.
just do one single mantra in my home, you see. But I used to do also a Tarva Shirsha, which is very powerful. And also, this is longer one, which is Ganesha Sahasranamam. I was
That is very
talking
big.
about
Yeah.
it. Yeah,
Correct.
this is very big, like 37 minutes, 40 minutes for you to do it properly. And see, I'm not a Vedic expert, you see, but let
No
us
problem. You can, for the benefit of the viewers.
you can learn. Yeah, but it's a very Mayuresha Stotram. Uh, if I am not mistaken, it's from Ganesha Purana also, but it goes like this: Brahmavacha Purana Purusham Devam Nana Karam Muda Maya Vinam Durvibhavyam Mayuresham Namamyaham Parat Param Chidanandam Nirvikaram Herde Sthitam Gunatitam Gunnamayam Mayuresham Namamyaham Surjantam Palayantam Chasahantaram Nijachaya Sarva Vignaharam Devam Mayuresham Namamyaham नानादजनिहन्तरं नानारूपण्यबिभृतम् नानायुधधरं भक्त्या मयूरेशं नमाम्यहम् इन्द्रादिदेवतावृन्दैराविष्टुतं महार्निशम् सदा सद्व्यक्तमव्यक्तं मयूरेशं नमाम्यहम् सर्वशक्तिमयं देवं सर्वरूपधरं विभुम् सर्वविद्याप्रवक्तरं मयूरेशं नमाम्यहम् पार्वतीनन्दनं शम्भोरानन्दपरिवर्धनम् भक्तानन्दकरं नित्यं मयूरेशं नमाम्यहम् मुनिध्ययं मुनिनुतं मुनिकामा प्रपूरकम् समाष्टिव्यष्टिरूपं त्वं मयूरेशं नमाम्यहम् सर्वाज्ञननिहन्तरं सर्वज्ञनकरं शुचिं सत्याज्ञनन्मयं सत्यं मयूरेशं नमाम्यहम् अनेककोटिब्रह्माण्डनायकं जगदीश्वरम् अनन्तविभवं विष्णुं मयूरेशं नमाम्यहम् मयूरेशोवाच इदं ब्रह्मकरं स्तोत्रं सर्वपापप्रणाशनम् सर्वाकमप्रदं नृणं सर्वोपद्रवनाशनम् करागृहगतारं च मोचनं दीनसप्तकात् अधिव्याधिहरं चैव मुक्तिमुक्तिप्रदं शुभम्. You probably were completely.
Wonderful. Wonderful.
I thought you
Very,
was. I was thinking to myself. She was like, "Oh my God, this is gonna be 30 minutes." It was just a few.
no, it was amazing. Your pronunciation is really good.
Okay. Yes, I was lucky because I studied singing when I was younger. And all the sounds I had to study vowels, consonants, IPA, International Phonetical Alphabet, and I also come from a literature background. So this allows me to pronounce Sanskrit words 95%,
You're much, much, much
But
better than many of us put together.
oh my God, no, don't tell me. People will be angry with me.
No,
It
no,
was
this
like,
is
oh my.
fantastic. This is Mayuresh Stotram, you said.
Maioresha Stotram. Yes, Maioresha Stotram. It's very, very short. You can do it as many times as you like. And this is one way to sing, to chant it. Of course, there are many other ways, traditional ways to chant it. You can do bhajans if you are uh, expert in that kind of chanting. So this I like to do. Many others I like to chant, and I it's really my spirituality is mostly about sound and
Hmm.
mantras and things like this, and
Hmm.
also some philosophy. I love philosophy. This is what I do.
No, it's
Yeah.
wonderful. Also, I wanted to check with you is that Brazil as a country is by and large very deeply Christian, as you were saying. Okay. How
Okay.
far has Ganesha uh, made inroads in this place? You said that,
Okay.
you know, there are people who buy
Yeah.
images, there are t-shirts. So there's also, you know what, Ronaldinho was
Oh
in
yeah.
yeah in Siddhivinayak temple. So and I think there's a lot of celebrities whenever they come down to India, there's one of these places is to go to Siddhivinayak. Having said, mm, to me, Ganesha has assumed almost like a global figure. He is, you know, lots and lots of people, they may not know about other deities, about other gods and goddesses of India, but they definitely know about Ganesha. So how far
Yes.
has Brazil accepted Ganesha? And what are those other things that you feel that one could do in order to spread the
Yeah.
glory of Ganesha in Brazil?
Okay. You see, Brazil, as I told you, is a Christian country in name, but you see, there's a lot of folk religion. There's a lot of indigenous in heritage also, and there's an
Which are
openness
still
to
being
this.
practiced? Which are still being practiced in
Yes,
Brazil, I think.
yes, yes,
Okay.
yes. There's a lot of that in Brazil, and
So would
there,
they
there's
border
some.
the occult? Would they border the occult or you know the left hand side?
Yes, yes. Also,
Hmm.
not only but also, you see, and it's very relevant to Brazilian consciousness also. But it's on under the wraps, so people don't. They are Catholic and they practice we call it macumba, which is which is a bad word like the tantra. You see, and people do go to those places also, and they go to the church also, but they hide it even to themselves. They say no, I just go there, and like they split their personalities, and many people do this. But now there is a different trend in Brazil, which is the evangelical. The Catholic culture is more at easy with it, but the evangelicals, they are rising as a political ideology here in Brazil, coming from North America and many other. It's a very complex situation, but the indigenous religion is there, and Ganesha is present as a global culture. So the yoga culture is all over the world, and so some people in Brazil, they have a lot to be educated about those subjects because they understand this as some sort of, it comes in a commercial way for us. See, lifestyle, healthy lifestyle, yoga, and then people have yoga studios and they have those Ganeshas, and it's just there, and they pray, and it's a cute uh, character, cute figure, and they love Ganesha. It's that people don't make any opposition. They don't. It's just there everywhere. People have T-shirts. They tattoo. They do make some tattoos, and they love everywhere you go. People, it's here in the culture. And I notice also in many. I have traveled when I was younger. I did some traveling around. Even I was in Thailand. It's huge in Thailand. Like they're Buddhists, but they are so Ganapatias there
Yeah,
because
yeah,
they love.
absolutely.
Even if you go to the gym, there's this big gym, and in front of the gym you have a Ganesha, and they also inside the gym, and everywhere is there, and they offer incense, and in Thailand and Southeastern Asia, and also in South America, there are some Hindu presence in the north of the Amazon, in the countries like Guyana and Suriname and the Caribbean, because there was some immigration in the past, and there's a huge Ganesha there. And in the U.S., of course, the United States have 3 million non-Indian Hindus today. So Ganesha is big. Ganesha, and people just don't know about it in a proper religious way, but they have natural devotion. Even my sister is not doesn't practice any of those things, and she asked me Ganesha, and she gave me some Ganesha. Let me get it here. Ganesha gifts for me because it was my birthday, and see, here is
How
she's
sweet.
gave me this.
Very
She
cute.
gave me
Very
this.
nice. Very nice.
Yeah, it's
It's a
very
good
nice.
gift. Yeah.
Yeah, it's a good gift, and we don't have a Ganesha Mandir here. See, because there's not such a kind of thing. It's very informal, so it's open. I guess the world is open to Ganesha in a way, and much more than to other kinds of aspects of Sanatana Dharma. You see, and people don't take it. The gurus that came to the West in the 19th century from onwards, it's a long story, like our interaction with Sanatana Dharma, starting from Vivekananda, the sexual revolution, the Beatles, and many gurus came to the West in a very silent way, and they are normally very humble, very generous guys, and they didn't want to convert anyone. And they say, no, you just be Christian and just take those meditations, and it was an option they had back those times. We have this Swami Tilak who came to Brazil, and he was barefoot walking by himself the whole South America,
Oh.
teaching Sanatana Dharma. And there
Mm.
is this temple in Brasilia, which is the capital of Brazil, founded by Swami Tilak, very silent guy. And he would go to the countryside of Brazil and pray with these old ladies. And he's a very humble guy in very silent activity in the West because they felt that something was going on globally also. So there is an openness for that kind of tradition, religion, but also many times the Hindu gurus they don't understand the West. What is you see they have some misunderstandings. I have been with some swamis also translating and following them around, and they were so surprised by the interpretation people have because you have those hippies here and the alternative communities, and he was like this very old gentleman and traditional Maharashtrian, and he was
Mm.
like, "Can you explain what's going on there?" These people are, and I say, "No, this is." He was like, "Are these just dropouts from society? Why are they living the jungle like these crazy people?" And I had to, where are their parents? What's going on? And I had to explain to him. Very nice guy, Swami Anubhavananda, from very smiley Swami, a nice guy. And I was trying to explain to him, very funny. And so there's a lot of misunderstanding also. You see, people have an image of India, romantic India, spiritual place. A lot of things that are not reality totally as the people think. And also this health culture, there is an openness for understanding and for misunderstanding between India and the West. And I think India has a lot of you guys have a lot of work to do there for yourselves in your own society, and there's a lot of misunderstanding from our side also, and we you see, and this is how we are today. Ganesha is there for sure. He's here for sure. Yeah,
In terms of coming back to Homa, where we began our conversation with, all
yeah,
your friends, your social media followers who are from your country and also, from the West by and large, when they see you performing a Homa, that's because, you see, one is mantra chanting, doing yoga, and all of that. Homa
yeah,
is more technical in nature, in the sense that, yeah, you're indulging in something in a very practical manner. You're experiencing certain
yeah,
things,
yeah,
right? So they see you with a tool, say, for example. It's
yeah.
not just a mental thing. Okay, they see you with a tool. How do they react to you?
See, you develop uh, kind of a fame of being a wizard or something. People say that he's into something. Some people may think you are into black magic because I live in the suburbs of Brazil. It's not a very rich place. Suburbs, very lots of evangelicals and things like this. And sometimes I have to uh, take the fire to the second floor here in my structure here. And people know I've been doing something, and of course people don't understand it. You see, all the people who are connected to Dharma, they want to know what is there for themselves. They need some convincing and persuasion. What is why are you doing this? You know, what is the healing? What is there for me? Will it do for me? So if you want people to do it, because people don't want to do anything, you know, it's very, they want to enjoy themselves and go to some workshop with some fancy people dressed in fancy ways, and they do some little dances and have some cake. This is what Western people are very used to. This is my people I know, and some people, they
You're
want
not alone
to,
there. The same thing is prevalent over here in India as well. So don't you worry about it.
yeah.
It's a global dizziness, I would say.
Yeah.
Huh.
So people don't have the patience, and they need to be educated here about Sanatana Dharma. And this is the main thing I have been. I gave some courses about the basics of it, uh, about the principle of yajna, as you see the five uh, principles of how can we relate to the universe, and this is part of it. So this is my intention. If I am supposed to teach something in the future, I feel not very confident about myself. In this, I'm working also, because I said, oh, it's a mess. I will have to teach people, and I don't feel myself in this kind of position. But life pushes me sometimes to to give some instruction, and it's always a dilemma for me. I'm always thinking about this. But you have to teach properly also, at least here in my context. You have to educate people first. It's not just come. If you come just and uh, give them the fire, they will not understand it mostly. They will not understand that there is no reference for this traditional reference, cultural reference, and they will understand the way they want. Like maybe they will enjoy, like the imagination may create something that's going on, and maybe they can experience some catharsis, emotional stuff, and because people love it, like, oh, oh my god, something is, is going on. They'll get into that, and it happens. People love this kind of things, you know, and it's okay. Psychological, therapeutically, it could work for people. But the fire, what I understand is, you need some grounding, and you need to understand what's going on. You
True.
cannot just go there and say, do this. So, of course, the work of Narasimhaji, Manishji, it's there for mankind, you know. But there is some other work, educational work, at least in the West, at least in my context. I don't think it's very approachable. Like, it's not. It takes some education about Dharma. How can you benefit from this? What is this kind of energy? How can you connect with it? And this is about the. And also, there is some prejudice against rituals in general in Vedantic circles, because there is a lot of Vedantic teachings going on in the West.
Mm-hmm.
Good stuff, good stuff. I come from that background. You see,
Mm.
I got into Dharma by Swami Chinmayananda's organization, you know. So there is Vedanta here, but people get some prejudices, like, no, this, you don't need rituals. So a lot of education should take place before you just, otherwise people interpret it as black magic, or maybe some powerful, miraculous things that, like the wizard from Middle Ages, like you are doing something there, and oh my god. People have those kinds of expectations, and there should be a lot of responsibility also in the West, because people get crazy. They had all sorts of imagination of their own, that they have been developing about spirituality. And I think the role of samskara should be understood properly. Like, people, they need some kind of identity. You
Mm.
see, the Westerners, they come from a Christian identity,
Mm.
and I believe we cannot become Hindus. This is my personal belief, unless you go, you understand you cannot deny that you're a Christian, but also we cannot live with these institutions, these dogmas, and things like this. See, I don't think these guys have a whole say about it. I'll give you one example to not to be too long. You
No,
see,
it's okay. Oh.
In Latin America, we have a very similar phenomenon to the Shakti Pitas. You see, we have those mountains, we have those ecological places which are very powerful, and people feel that, and miracles do happen, and they associate this with miraculous apparitions of Catholic uh, lady. You see, in Brazil, we have this black lady called Senhora de Aparecida, Aparecida lady. See, which was found in a river, this little black murti, miraculously. And it's a pilgrimage mountain. People go there and they pray. But also, is the institution, the Catholic institution accepts it and integrates it, digests it in a way. And the same in Mexico. You
And how
see,
is
you
this
have the
thing?
same.
Later on, if it's possible, just send across the picture or something of that sort.
Yeah, I will send you, and you post it when I talk about it.
Yes.
And I don't want to disrespect Catholics. You know, I respect everyone. I just don't believe in the institution, the dogmas, the philosophy. But I also believe, as a spiritualist, I have felt energies many times, even in Catholic contexts. You know, it's there. It's universal. Energy doesn't belong to anyone.
Correct.
And also, the in Latin America, we have lots of those ecological places, natural places associated with pilgrimage from ancient times, which have been converted into a Catholic uh, understanding
And people walk
of it.
towards them and go circumambulation and stuff like that.
Everything they do, everything
Yeah.
they do
Like
it. It's
how
very
we have it
similar.
over here. Yeah.
Many kinds of devotions which are pretty similar. The energy is there, and it is a black lady. It happens also in Mexico and Peru and Bolivia because I've been there in the Andes, and it's female, feminine Shakti there, and whatever name people have in their culture, they give it, but it's not. It doesn't belong to any church. It doesn't belong. It's there. You see, so Brazil is a very we are a very interesting country because we are like kids. I say we are like kids. You see, my impression when I was in India, it's like you guys have a lot going on from ancient times. So there is a lot of commitment. Some communities they are very committed to very strict stuff. They have to keep it. Now Brazil, I feel that we are like kids. We're still playful about life in general, and we don't have a lot of commitments. We can become a lot of things in this country. See, and very generous people, very uh, happy people, you know. But there's a lot to discover here in this country from our past, from there's a lot of suffering, there's a lot of pain that happened here in this country, a lot of extermination of people, and so I feel that we have a lot to learn from you guys in India, also in my country, and maybe you have a little bit to learn from us also.
May Ganesha bless us all.
Yes. So yeah, I guess that's it.
Yeah, that's fantastic. I had a fantastic conversation with you. And
Thank you.